WOCA.
Ocala.
All right, 25 minutes before 11 o'clock. Joe Reichel is in the studio from Damage Control Services. The show is called Damage Control. And Joe, of course, can tell you some stories about homes that have been severely damaged that are now back to normal because of the work that he and his guys do. He can also help you if you've got something that's damaged on a smaller scale somewhat, and maybe you're trying to fix it yourself and you need a little bit of advice, what tools to use, and et cetera. Good morning, Joe. How you doing?
I am doing really good.
Good. Did you have a tornado that you had to fix some damage from?
I did not have a tornado, but the southeast section of Ocala had a tornado come through, and this is near the Lemonwood subdivision, that area. And there was, this was Friday afternoon. We got a garage that had a tree on it in Lemonwood, and in a house at the entrance of Lemonwood had 2 trees on it and 5 trees total down on the property, and 2 of them hit the house. So they had extensive damage to the house and water damage and tree damage because of the tree hitting it. So.
Yeah.
And then there's another tree in the Sherwood Estates, I think, subdivision, and it was hit severely, and we didn't. I've left information with the homeowner, or somebody that was watching the property for the homeowners. So
I see.
hopefully we can get that one. I would love that job.
Why is that?
It's just going to be it's
extensive.
Oh,
okay.
The tree, when the tree hit it laid across the roof, crushing crushing all of the trusses, about 2/3 of the roof. So
it's got to be a good feeling for you and for Rob and Mike and everybody else that you work with to actually take a home that looks like it's never going to be lived in again and making it livable again.
Well, and that's where, the homeowners, and I'll tell the story of Megan and Blake. That's the homeowners that we worked for Friday night. They had, in talking to them, they said, we didn't know what to do or who to call.
Yeah.
Or what direction. They're just so appreciative because we've been able to help them through the process thus far. And in their situation, they've got dogs that they had to board because they weren't able to stay there that night. The first night we were able to get them back in there the next day,
right.
In part of the home. But they just their whole thing was we didn't know what to do or who to call or what direction to go, and we were able to get out there and get the electrician out there to test the house, the certain area where they could live, and get the power back on. We were able to get the tree guy out there and get all of that going so that everything could cleaned up and we could actually tarp it in and start the process through their insurance company.
Wow. So they, as much as you get on the radio and get the word out about what you guys do.
Hi, Tori.
you are, you still have people who have damage and they are lost. They don't know who to call.
Right.
So.
And that's what happens when there's a disaster. They don't, typically people, it's a state of shock first and foremost. And,
absolutely, sure.
They don't really know what to do or what direction to turn.
Sure, that would be the case for any one of us. We're all in the same boat, right?
And that's it. No matter what it is, if you're not prepared for it, and that's where, talking about, we're getting into, hurricane season, or we're in hurricane season. A disaster, we could have, tornadoes that spin off of hurricanes or whatnot. So it's important to be prepared for these.
Joe, you have a phone call. Good morning. You're on the air with Joe Reichel.
Yes, good morning, Joe.
Good morning.
Well, I tell you, these windy thunderstorms are really, I can't believe it driving around in my subdivision in this area of town over here. Boy, you just see, the storms were bad, but not super bad, but there's so many trees that are broken off and laying down. And I don't know why anybody would have keep a large tree close to their home or a garage, because it's just you're just waiting for a problem to happen. And I'm just wondering if you couldn't call an arborist to come out and a tree doctor, and I don't know, maybe drill into the tree to see if it seems like all these trees that are falling over, they're all hollow in the inside, although they look healthy, And
Right.
I just wonder if somebody arborist could come out and drill into it and tell you that the tree is dead in the inside, you should have it taken down, or it's healthy, or what.
I don't know how they check them, but I know that they do have means of checking them, and if you have an arborist come out and look, they can typically be able to tell you the health of your tree. There's different telltale signs that they can look at and go from there.
It might be just a simple thing of when I hammer in your ear against the tree, tapping on it to see if it's hollow or not.
Yeah, I've seen tree guys that have done that. As far as hitting a tree, and you can tell that it is hollow inside, even though it does look healthy on the outside.
Right. And in a sick tree like that, you don't need a really bad windstorm to knock it over. And I think a healthier tree could sustain itself and hang in there. But I would tell anybody, if they got a tree close to a building or house or a garage or what, I'd get rid of it. They say, oh, well, it's so great in the summertime for the shade, and it looks so pretty, this and that. But I tell you, when they come down, they can do a lot of damage.
Yes, they certainly do a lot of damage. And, looking at the trees, the 4 trees that I know that hit homes Friday night, all of them are healthy trees. So 3 of them are one was a hickory, 2 were oaks, and 1 was a pine, and all of them healthy trees that you wouldn't know. So even a healthy tree can come down in a storm. I mean, so that's going to your point, if it's within reach of the house, it's it can be a danger.
I know that in the past, when I first moved out to where I am now, I had trees everywhere, which I got rid of. But I had a guy come out and say, well, let me, they claim if they can thin the tree out quite a bit, the crown, and really thin it out so it doesn't catch a lot of wind, would help quite a bit. But the trouble is, in a matter of 2 or 3 years, you're right back to where you started. It grows back. But temporarily, though, it probably does help to some degree.
And it really does help with the health of the tree, too, whenever you have them thinned out, because they're not working so hard to keep up with the vegetation, or the leaf, the foliage. That's the word, foliage.
Right. Okay, Joe, nice talking. Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks for your call.
All right, and everybody's welcome to call Joe. The number is 622-9622. Of course, we're live on July 7th, the 7th day of July. Hard to believe, huh?
Halfway through the year already.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So I had a tiny little thing that, of course, reminded me of you, because we talk about it all the time. I was standing at the sink in my socks, and my socks were getting wet. And I said, what the heck is...
Was it the dog again?
That's what I thought.
Right.
But it wasn't. There was a tiny little leak, and when I looked under the sink, I could see that this tiny little leak must have been happening for a while. It was like a pinhole, the thing you've talked about before.
Right.
And the evidence that it was happening for a while was because I guess that one shelf was probably made out of pressed wood, and it was basically caved in from the water. So I just did what you always say, turn it off, which I turned it off, and turned out all I had to do was turn off the hot water.
Okay,
so now
my
kitchen sink has just cold water right now until I replace the faucet, which is where the leak was coming from.
Okay.
So to get to it, I watched a YouTube video.
There you go.
And it looks like I'm going to need a long tool, because that little space between...
It's behind the sink.
Yeah.
Yeah, those things they're tricky to get those out of there.
Yeah. Well, anything I need to be aware of that I might... Like, do I need to have a bucket ready in case it just starts spraying water everywhere?
Maybe have a bucket ready, but also, do you know Mike Scott Plumbing's number?
That's not a bad idea.
If water runs through it, they do it.
I should just get them to do it.
Well, that would be the other option. I mean, if you bought the faucet, they'd be able to change it out, and not much of a service call for that.
Yeah.
And it's a lot easier. I've been, done some faucet repair and whatnot, but the hardest part about that, and that's where plumbers are incredible, is you're laying underneath the sink on your back.
I know.
The cabinet's digging into your back.
Right.
You got to get your hands up in there behind the sink, and
right. There's no way.
It's not an easy job.
And it's hard to see in there. And
it's hard to see. You have to have a flashlight.
But they do it all the time.
And they're good at it. They're quick. In and out.
Well, see, the one I watched on the YouTube video, the guy said, well, that came off easy. Oh, I see why. It rusted. It broke off. It didn't really unscrew off. I'm thinking, what if that happens to me? What if it just breaks off?
Well, make sure you have your water turned off. We ready for a break?
I think Mike Scott is the answer. Yeah.
Mike Scott's the answer.
Yeah, we are ready for a break. All right. Well, thank you for reminding me about
No problem. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk some more storm damage.
Okay, we'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. It'll be partly sunny today with a thunderstorm around during the afternoon and evening hours, the high 87 to 91, and partly cloudy overnight, low 71 to 75. For tomorrow, sunshine mixing with building clouds with a thunderstorm around, mainly during the afternoon hours over the interior, the high 89 to 93. Thursday, sunshine mixing with clouds with a thunderstorm around, mainly during the afternoon hours, high 89 to 93. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Joe Lundberg.
If you're anything like I was, the thought of getting older was the last thing on your mind. But here we are. For me, it started slowly. The lack of energy, never being in the mood, and when I was, I could never perform at my best. I tried the pills and other treatments with minimal results, and all but given up on my sex life. Then, I found the doctors at New Male Medical Center. Wow, they made a new male out of me. Feel like I'm 25 again. I have renewed vigor, so much more energy, and no longer worry about my performance. New Male treated me like my situation was one of a kind, with a custom treatment plan that really works. I feel great. They can create one for you too. It does not matter if you suffer from low testosterone, erectile dysfunction, or just want to last longer. New Male will help you.
Call New Male Medical Center today at 352-404-4779. 352-404-4779. That's 352-404-4779. It will change your life. 352-404-4779.
Robin, let's try a little plant trivia. Name this nursery. It's a not-for-profit, and it teaches growing and caring for plants to their students.
Oh, that's easy. Kenny's Place.
Or how about this one? It's a nursery conveniently located between Ocala and Bellevue.
Again, it's Kenny's Place.
Or how about this one? A nursery with a wide variety of just what you need or want at the most reasonable prices.
Kenny's Place, of course.
Kenny's Place at 7677 Southeast 41st Court. Give them a call at 867-1213. It's a caring place for people and plants. It's Kenny's Place.
This is James Snyder, inviting you to join me each Sunday morning at 9:30 for Sunday Joy on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM.
La Famiglia Pizzeria has moved into Ocala. Stop by today at 2504 Southeast 17th Street and see for yourself what everyone is talking about.
Awesome place. I never get pizza anywhere else.
Great New York style pizza and dishes.
Best pizza in Ocala.
One trip and you'll agree, La Famiglia Pizzeria is the best. La Famiglia Pizzeria. Stop by for a pizza that you'll love or call in and order yours for pickup. 352-245-2419. La Famiglia Pizzeria.
WWWOCA, WWWOCA.
The most trusted name in news, Fox News, every half hour, only on 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
All right, Joe Reichel is here. The phone lines are open, 622-9622, and Joe's going to talk to you about some damage.
Yeah, we got, like I said, we had the 2 trees on homes this week, and then we had several mold calls this week.
Oh, really?
And even one this morning. They went away for the weekend and came home, and they could smell it. And in behind a wall, or in a closet, which is backed up to the kitchen, I guess there's some mold in there, and so. They've got a water leak of some sort, so we got.
They smelled it. Now, is it similar?
To smell the mold.
Is it similar to my leak, where there's a good chance it was there way before they noticed it?
It would have been happening. I mean, it could have happened whenever they left, or could have happened. It happens shortly in that area. But mold can grow within 12 hours after the water loss. So that's why it's important always to get that cleaned up and start the process, first by stopping the cause of the leak and then cleaning up the damage that's caused and get it dried out. So this past week we ended up with 3, well, counting one today, 3 different mold calls. So. And are they deep into the wall, or are they? Because you've talked about this before, where it varies. Sometimes it's surface level, sometimes it goes deeper into the drywall. Oh, the mold?
Yeah.
Yeah, it really depends on, a lot of times where the leak is, and this one, the water is in the leak is inside the wall,
right.
The cavity. So, the mold would be starting from the back side of the drywall coming through. So that would be throughout. Really, a lot depends on, how much got wet, how long it was wet for, and, there's all kinds of different variations. So,
did you hear this story the other day? I think it was in North Carolina, where there was some people posing on a deck for a photograph, and it collapsed. And the reason it collapsed was because the nails, which were put in there in 1986, had deteriorated. Now,
okay,
I wouldn't think 1986 was that old. I mean, do nails deteriorate like that?
Well, it depends on the type of lumber, and if it was a deck, I'm assuming that that's a pressure-treated lumber. So pressure-treated lumber, you need to use a galvanized nail for, because the chemicals that they treat the lumber with will eat away at the regular nails, at the metal.
Oh, wow. So whoever built the deck...
It could have been.
Maybe didn't use the right nail.
It could have been, or else, too, depending on where it was in the, the weather or whatnot, nails will rust.
If it was near the ocean, Joe Martone said something about it might have been salt.
Salt will affect...
will that affect the galvanized nail, too?
Salt affects metal, period.
Uh-huh.
Not as quickly, but
it just,
the salt water affects all metal.
I mean, I grew up in a house that was like 80 years old, and I don't remember worrying about it falling apart.
Well, typically you shouldn't have to worry about it falling apart. So, I mean, there's a lot of variables that, it could be poor workmanship, or it could be the material, poorly made materials.
Well, the news story did say it was the nails that caused it to fall. And it did say they had deteriorated, but I just didn't think 1986 was that long ago. For that to happen.
No.
If a phone call. Good morning, you're on the air with Joe.
Hey, guys. That
Good.
was a balcony. That's different than a deck. The balcony is exposed to wind and weather and everything else.
Oh, okay.
And the moisture had a chance to sort of blow up under and drip over the edge and run back up under, but it was the wrong type of nails that was a culprit. You're on the right track there.
Oh, okay. Well, was it near the sea?
Too many people on that balcony. It was designed for like 6 people, and there were like 3 or 4 times that many people out there.
Oh, that played a role too. Was it near the ocean? Was the salt a factor?
Yes, it was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
It was near a body of water. I'm not sure it was the ocean. I don't remember the details as far as that's concerned, but it was near a body of water.
Well, thanks for the information.
Yeah, I had it wrong.
Yes,
so it was
good program. Enjoy the technical aspect.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah, has nothing to do with me. Nothing technical on my end.
Well, running that control board is technical. I couldn't do it.
It looks like it is. It's not really. Well, so it was a balcony, so that puts a different light on it. So there's too many people. You would think of, okay. So I for some reason was thinking it was a deck, but balcony was probably higher.
I'd have to check on that. I have to look into it. I hadn't heard.
But anyway,
about it.
But the main question still is the same. I mean, the main thing, aside from too many people, is that the nails had deteriorated, and I just didn't think that was ever a thing to worry about.
Well, and anytime you have construction, I mean, just like wood, for example, if it's exposed to the weather, you're going to have deterioration. Metal is the same thing. So if you have, whatever is holding your structure together, whether it's wood or screws, you're still going to have, deterioration. You look at a deck, I mean, outside decks, if it's nailed down, those, will rust through or rust out, and that, that's why a lot of times have to have somebody come back through and re-nail. I mean, we've done it on several jobs, re-nail the deck down, or a lot of times taking a deck apart and putting new deck boards down. The nails will be rusted out.
And you have another phone call. Good morning. You're on the air with Joe Reichel.
Yeah, say Joe, Hugh calling again real quick. The mother-in-law moved down to Orlando here 2 years ago, and she's in a mobile park. And she's got a couple of spots on the ceiling evidently the roof is leaking. I don't know anything about mobile homes, trailer homes, or what you want to call them. Is there there's no attic in them? There must be like an airspace or a crawl space, and are those roofs they're not like asphalt? They're like what, like aluminum?
It depends. There's a couple different kinds of roofs that it could be, but depending on the manufacturer and the age. So it would be a very good idea to take that. You can treat those roofs with different. They have like a cool seal that you can put on, depending on what type it is. If it's a membrane, you can put a sealant on there, or if it's a metal roof, you can put that cool seal, like I said, on there. As far as the space, typically there isn't any type of a crawl space typically in a mobile home, unless it has a truss system of some sort, like a double wide. They'll have a truss system typically, and you'll be able to get up in there possibly. But typical single wide, I'm not sure if it's single or double wide, but typically they don't have much room up in there.
Yeah, it's a single wide trailer, and it was built at 85. So I don't know if that would be an aluminum roof or whatever up there. She's got a roofer coming in to check it out. Is it possible that he'd be able to, from the inside, get up in there and look, or would it be always from the outside, being on top of the roof?
Typically, it would be from the outside, and if nothing's ever been done, or even if it has it, and she's starting to get leaks, it'd definitely be worth checking it over and maybe putting checking it to see if another layer of sealant can be put on there, because if not, if she's got two, it won't be long, probably where there's more coming out. So
can they roof right over an existing roof on a trailer or on a mobile home?
There again, it depends what it is, but they can probably, like I said, put a sealant up there. Rather than a new roof. I don't think it probably does not have shingles on it. It's probably got either some sort of a membrane, rolled membrane, or a metal roof.
Yeah, she was told when she bought the structure that it was a second roof, a newer roof, and it was, like I say, it was built in 85. So I don't know how many years that would be. But,
okay.
And she does have leaking and spotting on the ceiling, so something's not right somewhere.
And you said she does have a roofer coming out to check it, or?
Yeah, she's got a roofer coming. Yeah, she was supposed to show up yesterday, but never made it because I guess they had a terrible storm down there, and I guess the guy never came.
Well, that's one thing, just safety-wise. You don't want to be up on a roof whenever it's storming or raining. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I guess you got to do all that kind of work before, let's say, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, huh?
Or pick a day like yesterday. We didn't get much rain yesterday, but and that's where the storms we had Friday night. We were out there on the roofs, and it's had just got done raining, and there's leaf debris up there, and the shingles are wet. It was exciting to say the least. So
I would imagine on a single structure like that, mobile, probably to put a new roof on, re-roof it wouldn't be all that expensive because you're not really looking at a large building,
Right. Typically, they're not a large, a very large, and depending on what type it is, it could be able to just put another sealant, another coating of whatever's up there, and that's pretty easy to do.
Great. Okay. Thanks a lot, Joe.
You're welcome.
Joe, we are at the end of the show already.
Wow.
Do you want to give out contact information?
The fastest half hour of my week, right there. My contact information is 352-817-6574. You can call me directly, or you can email me, joe@damageflorida.com. You can get one of our magnets for your refrigerator, or we've got new damage control service pens and mug rugs. So if you want, I can hook you up.
And do somebody a favor. Get one of those magnets and give it to somebody else.
And better yet, give me your email so that I can get you on our weekly blog, and you can get hints and tips on what to do in the event of an emergency, and and take care of things.
Thank you, Joe.
You're welcome.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM.
Fox News Radio. I'm Lillian Wu. Our strategy to confront Islamic State terrorists, the focus of a Senate committee hearing right now.
ISIL continues to gain territory.